But yeah, Kirk Cousins, for quarterbacks this week, I mean, like Mike said, I feel like we're always kind of talking about him. He's kind of like, we do the term lunch pail kind of guy. The guy who just comes in, gets the work done, and then goes home. He's not a flashy name. He's not a diva or whatnot. But that's kind of what Kirk Cousins is. He's coming off a down game against the Browns defense. But I mean, that's a tough Browns defense that he just played against. Probably one of the Browns probably have top 5 defense realistically. But prior to that game, he had 22 or more points in all 3 of the first 3 games. This week, he's going to be at home against the Detroit Lions. This should be a money matchup. If I have Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen, I'm licking my chops here because this is a juicy, juicy matchup right here. The Lions have allowed the 3rd highest passer rating in the league. So, yeah, I'm expecting a nice bounce-back game for Kirk Cousins here. So, if you take the streaming quarterback approach, which I'm kind of doing in one league, I'm sure he'll be there. He was there this week, and in the league I'm in, and I'm sure he'll be there still after a down game. I'm definitely going to go out and grab him, and I'll throw him into my lineup with some confidence this week.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely having the down game surely helps with him being available. Would you put a waiver priority on him, or would you just go luck?
Yeah, probably not, because people are probably going to be like, he's coming off a bad game, so he's not the hot name. You got a couple other quarterbacks we're going to touch on that people are going to be wasting waiver on. I guess if I have Fab, sometimes I'll throw in like $1 because it's like, hey, let me just throw in $1, which isn't much. But you might also get the scenario where someone drops Kirk Cousins. So important thing to monitor when you're doing these waiver wire things is to see what players get dropped. Because obviously a lot of players are going to be getting picked up, but it's like what players are going to be getting dropped, and that's where you can really capitalize on the waiver wire sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude, and all these dogs agree, bro. Yeah, but Kirk Cousins over here, like I said, I mean, the Lions, they're down. They're Jeff Okudah. They drafted 3rd overall 2 years ago. He's out for the year. They drafted another rookie. He's out for the year already. So we kind of saw Justin Fields have a decent game against the Lions secondary. We saw the emergence of Darnold Mooney, which we'll touch on in a little bit. So, I mean, if Mooney can get 125 yards with Justin Fields, I mean, just think of what Justin Jefferson's going to have this week coming up. Justin Jefferson can finish as the wide receiver 1 this week, potentially. So, yeah, I'd like Kirk Cousins this week.
Love it. Let's move on to the next one here. We got Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had the bounce-back game. Oh, my gosh.
Jesus.
That's crazy, dude.
Dude, it's fucking crazy
it's like
over here, dude. Dude, who let the dogs out, dude?
I know. We're sitting here in silence for literally hours and hours, just doing research and stuff. And then all of a sudden, we start recording, and all the dogs want to be playing peekaboo, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, after having a rough go at it the first 3 weeks, he bounces back on Thursday night and has a decent game in consideration of as how badly he's played before. You're picking him up or what? I know a lot of people dropped him. So
yeah, another one where like I'm not wasting any fab. This is more along like the streaming quarterback realm of where I'm like, hey, if maybe I'm streaming quarterbacks, a 2 quarterback league. I could throw Trevor Lawrence in my lineup with some confidence here. I mean, he's gonna be playing against the Titans this week. He's gonna be at home. The Titans' pass defense not very good. They're bottom 10 in the league. They're actually tied 6th worst in terms of yards per pass attempt allowed. They're giving up 8.4 yards per pass attempt allowed. Now I know Sunshine, aka Trevor Lawrence over here, has had a little case of the turnover problems, throwing interceptions, but no interceptions last week, so maybe he's moving in the positive regression area. And then the rushing upside. I mean, he scores you 1 rushing touchdown last game, but then he almost gets you 2 rushing touchdowns. He was trying to pull off his best Sam Darnold impression. But yeah, he's averaging 7 rushing attempts the last 2 games. So I think people don't understand that's part of his game. And how would you say it? Repertoire? Is that how you say it?
Repertoire, yeah.
It's a repertoire for Trevor Lawrence.
That's a good franchise. Trevor Lawrence has a repertoire of pushing the ball inside the end zone.
But yeah, so he's a capable rusher, with the RPO plays they can run right there. So yeah, I'm not mad at having Trevor Lawrence as a streaming quarterback option.
Yeah.
Let's say like maybe you have like a Tannehill and, you're worried that A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are out again. You're trying to find somebody just to fill in, just as an example off the top of my head. I think Trevor Lawrence is a guy you could pick up, and he should give you a safe floor this week.
Definitely. Put him on your lineup. Yeah, add him, stream him. This is a guy that we're still talking about. We joked for a couple weeks now. It's like Sam Darnold. And he still is not being highly owned in a lot of leagues, and you should own him. You should go pick him up if he's there. 5 rushing touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, 5 rushing touchdowns. He's actually the QB5 on the season, so it's crazy to think that he's 73% available on ESPN. He's 90% available on the NFL. Those are just kind of the 2 main ones that I'll usually check out to see in terms of like who's available and whatnot. But yeah, if I was to tell you, hey, there's a top 5 quarterback available in basically 75% or more leagues on the waiver wire, you would go get that quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but I think it's just because it's Sam Darnold. He has got this like salty taste that he's left in people's mouths from his days with the Jets and Adam Gase. But I mean, in this new offense with Matt Rule, they've got weapons, and we're kind of seeing what the true potential of what Sam Darnold can be. And I mean, especially, we've never really seen him run the ball with the Jets. And I don't know if it's scrambling plays or what it is, designed run plays, because I haven't been able to watch the film too much. But for whatever it is, 5 rushing touchdowns through 4 games is pretty impressive. I mean, he scored 19 or more points in all 4 games. Last week, he was one of our streaming quarterbacks because he was so widely available. Comes out and he gets you 31.5 points. So if you were listening to us and you needed a streaming quarterback, I picked him up in one league. Humble brag. Started him because Tannehill, like I said, no Julio Jones and no A.J. Brown. I was like, let me go get Sam Darnold in what I thought could be a shootout against the Cowboys. Works out pretty good. He finished as the QB2 last week. Still, this guy needs to be owned. I mean, at this point, whether you want to acknowledge it or believe in it or not, this guy's probably going to finish as a top 12 quarterback. And if you're in a 2-quarterback league, I mean, bro, this guy is a money second quarterback for you.
Definitely. Yeah. How about listen to this and own him after this week, and let's no longer have to talk about Sam Darnold because he'll be super owned.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next quarterback here. We got Trey Lance for the San Francisco 49ers.
Lance.
Trey Lance.
It's that in Tropic Thunder, he's talking about like, oh, you got a girl at home? He's like, yeah. He's like, what's her name? He's like, Lance. He's like, wait, Lance? No. I said Nance.
He said Nance. Yeah. No, Nance.
Lance. But
he's like polishing his gun.
Yeah.
Lance.
But yeah, Trey Lance, you get the rookie finally got in the game. Jimmy Garoppolo got banged up, and we saw Trey Lance come in and take over and did pretty good. This one, maybe you put a waiver claim in. I mean, I'm not sure because if Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy, I'm not sure what the severity of his injury is. It could be week to week. So maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2. But yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, Trey Lance offers that rushing upside.
As he rushes one in on the highlights we're watching here.
Right on cue, as we would say in the business.
In the biz.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to take a shot on Trey Lance, even if you just hold on to him as a stash, maybe you already have a good quarterback, but you just stash him, and if he does come out and he's, he starts balling, because they have weapons over there. Debo's just been in fuego. Kittle is still one of the top tier tight ends. I mean, Ayuk hasn't gotten it together, but I still think Ayuk is a talented player. I just don't think you could do what he did his rookie year and then he just fall off a cliff like he has. So I think, there'll be better days for Brandon Ayuk going forward as well. But and then obviously the rushing upside that Trey Lance offers compared to a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo. So this would be more of a grab and stash play for me, and then see what he does. And then maybe you got some trade equity going down in the future. Maybe Trey Lance is balling and let's say you have like a Russell Wilson and you grab Trey Lance and Trey Lance is just balling. Now you have that equity to trade a guy like Russell Wilson who has that name value that you can now upgrade at a certain position because you have Trey Lance.
It's a lot of moving parts in that trade scenario, but I like it. No, it's very possible to do something like that. Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about Trey Lance?
Yeah, the same kind of thing you're saying is like what depends on what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's like they're not fully giving him the reins. It's just the injury kind of is helpful with that whole situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I with the rushing upside, if you can like somehow get a quarterback in the middle of the season that has as much rushing upside as Trey Lance does, then sign me up. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, we have to treat Trey Lance the way you'd be treating Justin Fields. So if in your head you're thinking like, okay, I want to stash Justin Fields because I think he could be this guy, then I think you have to do the same with Trey Lance. But in your head, if you're like, I'm not really worried about Justin Fields, like he's a rookie, Andy Dalton's there, whatever, yada yada, then I guess I'd be treating Trey Lance in that same area. They're literally like the same player to me. So I guess it just depends on what your view is on those
and the Niners
type of players.
is a much better organization than I would say than the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bears fans. Okay, let's go on to my boy Matt Ryan. I just want to talk about Matt Ryan for a little bit. Matt Ryan had a game and a half this past week.
And all the dogs agree, dude. They're like, yeah, who let the dogs out? Who let Matt Ryan out, finally?
Exactly. So Matt Ryan hasn't been totally giving goose eggs this past couple weeks. He's – dude. I mean, bro, what are we doing? But Matt Ryan has definitely – I can't even think, dude.
Here, I'll put the dogs. I won't let the dogs out. I'll put the dogs away.
But yeah, so I just want to talk on Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan this past week put up like 26 fantasy points, had a load of touchdowns. It's not every week that he's going to do stuff like that, but the guy is throwing the ball. Like he's had 2 weeks where he's thrown the ball over 40 times, which is something you want out of your quarterback. If your quarterback's throwing the ball, that means more touchdowns, more opportunity. He had 4 touchdowns this past week, 283 passing yards. 17 rushing yards, which is super weird for Matt Ryan to actually, But that being said, we got – sorry, 1 second. But yeah, Matt Ryan's taking on the New York Jets this week, so I think it's a decent matchup. So this is more of like a guy that you can just throw in your lineup and stream as well. Maybe if you didn't get Sam Darnold, if he's not there, maybe and some of these other guys like we talked about aren't there, then maybe Matt Ryan's available. And the offense looked a lot better this past week, much better than the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Pittsburgh Steelers. That's my team. Anyways, so yeah, Matt Ryan, I just wanted to throw that in there because it's kind of like a speculative ad, whatnot. But put him in your lineup. But then we can move on to the running back situation here. Bing, bing, bing. Sorry, I just wanted to can't think. But we'll move on to the running back situation. Made a little case for Matt Ryan. But is there anything else you want to say on Matt Ryan, or are you good?
Nah, I just the whole Cordero Patterson experience has just been wild. I mean, the guy's just having a breakout season like in year 10.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, but and it's just crazy, like I don't know. I just think, obviously, Cordell Patterson is probably going to be the waiver wire pickup of the year.
I think so.
I mean, yeah. At this point, Cordell Patterson set and forget it. But you have to imagine that Cordell Patterson can't get 2 touchdowns every single game. So these touchdowns have to start spreading out to guys like Ridley and like Kyle Pitts, just to kind of touch on the Falcons offense a little bit right there. But, yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think it's a good matchup. They play the Jets, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah. So, good stream for this week. What'd you say? You said you liked that video and it was really informative, and now you want to subscribe so you can win your fantasy football league? Okay. Go ahead. You wish that we would live stream and answer fantasy football questions every Sunday before the games? Okay, they sure do. AVG Fantasy Football has your back. Did you get what I did there? It was a little Dora the Explorer, a little back and forth. Like, we weren't actually talking, but you thought maybe you did. Yeah, you thought. Yeah, I convinced you. It's called acting. What else did you say? You said that you want to be able to call in while we do live streams? Hey, should I start McCaffrey? Well, yeah. Here it is. This is an example of what's going to happen. Hello? Yes. I'm curious. Should I start Dalvin Cook? Then this is us. Yeah, obviously you should play Dalvin Cook because Dalvin Cook's like really good. So I'd say, it is matchup proof. So put him in your lineup. It's that damn easy. And then bam, you won your fantasy football league that week. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more videos just like this. If you want to see us answer questions live every Sunday before the games start, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you know right when we drop content for you to win your fantasy football league.